Hello Rollcom students. Have you ever been wearing the perfect outfit, but it was just missing that one tiny little flair to bring it all together and make it absolutely perfect? Or have you ever wanted an easy way to switch up your style and start conversations? Well, I have the perfect thing for you, dyeing your hair. According to campus.edu, dyeing your hair is a practice that goes back to ancient Egypt, and it's something I've been doing since I was 10 years old when my mom showed me how. So today, I thought I'd show you the best way, in my opinion, to dye your hair. In my many years of experience dyeing my hair, I found that split dyeing my hair is the most fun and best looking way to dye my hair. Split dyeing your hair is when you split your hair into two halves and color one half one color and the other half another color. So the things you will need for this process are 2 trash bags that you've cut down the middle, a towel, 2 bottles of hair dye. With hair dye, you have to pick colors that will go well with your hair color. So if you have darker colored hair, you need to find a hair dye that will go well with that, obviously. But if you have lighter colored hair, it's pretty easy to find, pretty much use any hair dye you want. So in my case, I'll be using red and blue. After this, you'll need a hairbrush, isopropyl alcohol or something else that cleans stains well, 2 pairs of gloves. The hair dye you buy will usually come with gloves, but I usually recommend just using your own surgical gloves because the gloves that come in the hair dye box usually aren't very good. And after this, you'll need scissors and hair clips. You'll also need a shirt you don't care about ruining and a shower, as you can see here. Now that your hair is sectioned off like mine is, you're going to want to put your pair of gloves on. Just make sure that each section of your hair is about even, and you can use your best judgment for this. You don't want the sections to be too big, but you don't want them to be too small. So now that you've sectioned your hair, you're going to want to start the dyeing process. So you're just going to take your hair dye and take the scissors you used and cut the tip of the hair dye off. This can be tricky sometimes, but should work like that. So now that you've cut the tip of the hair dye off, you're ready to start dyeing. So how you're going to do this is you're going to take your first hair clip off, like this, and you're going to take the hair dye and just squirt it onto your hand like this. You're going to want to get a fair amount on, not too much, but not too little. And you're going to take the first section of your hair and just start rubbing the dye in. So the way I like to do this is just going hand over hand, like this. So you're going to go one hand and the other hand, one hand, the other hand, just keep doing that. And even split each section up into smaller little sections to make it the distribution of the hair dye easier. Because if you don't, the hair dye will end up looking splotchy, and we don't want that. So just keep doing this with each little section, and you can see my hair is turning brighter red now. So I'm just going to keep doing this with this section, and I'm going to go up to about just around where I want my hair to be dyed to. So like I said, I want my hair to be dyed to around here, so I'm just ending where I'm doing this right here. So just up, down, up, down. I should have just about enough on now, and I can move on to the next section. So you're going to take this next section, and you're going to take your hair dye again, and get a little more on your hands for this next section. Sometimes it'll not come out well, but that's okay. You're just going to take this hair dye and move on to the next section. Do the same thing. Just split this section up into smaller sections again. Keep doing that, and you can see this section is turning red now. You might notice some hair dye getting on your bathroom floor or in your bathroom or on the shirt, but that's okay because I'll show you how to clean it up after. So now I've got just about enough red on this, maybe a little more. Take this, squirt it on your hand, go like this, just up, down. Keep doing that. And once you have enough on your next section, just move on to the next one. So take your next hair clip out and just repeat the process. You're going to take more hair dye and just finish your hair off. Just want to get the back, and this is my smallest section, so I don't think I need to split it up into even smaller sections. So Just going to keep repeating this process, up, down. And once you have an even distribution among the 3 sections, you're going to want to take your hair as a whole mass and like this, and just completely rub it in like this. And this is going to make sure that the hair dye got everywhere, just cover the pieces you left. And yeah, that's your first section of hair done. Alright, so this next step is honestly the most annoying part. You're going to take the gloves off that you used for that, and maybe wash your hands. So now that you have your 2 sections of hair dyed, you're going to want to wait for the hair dye to set, and this is going to be how the hair dye actually sticks to your hair. So if you want your hair to be more vibrant, you're going to wait longer. I usually like mine to be more vibrant, so I'll wait about an hour. But if you want your hair dye to be less vibrant, you're going to wait about 30 minutes to 40 minutes. It might depend on what the box of hair dye you got says, but I'm going to wait about an hour. And I'm not going to want to go around putting my head on anything, which makes this annoying because you're going to get hair dye everywhere. So you're just going to sit in your bathroom for however long you want for your hair dye to set and wait. Okay, so now that you've let your hair sit for however long you want it to sit for, you're going to need to get the excess dye off, and you're going to do this by using your shower to just wash the dye off. So what you're gonna want to do is turn your shower on, obviously. And you're gonna want the water to be pretty cold, because if it's hot, that'll get rid of the hair dye, and you don't want that. So just make sure it's cold, and it's pretty cold. So I'm gonna pull it down. Coming out, and what I'm going to do is just put my hair in the shower and just wash it out like this, and you're going to see all that stuff coming out of my hair, and it's going to turn your bathtub blue, but don't worry about that because that'll come out. Just keep doing this. Almost use the process you were using it when you were dyeing your hair in the first place with the up and down, and just keep doing this. So the water is going to keep coming out, going to keep turning blue, and I'm just waiting for the water to not be as blue. And going to get the other side, so now you can see some of it will be red. Now the red's coming out. You're just going to keep doing this until you see the water not be as blue and red. And this will take varying amounts of time. And some people get freaked out at this stage because they think all the hair dye is coming out, but that's actually not true. Only the excess hair dye is coming out. There will still be a lot of hair dye in your hair that stuck to your hair, but this is just getting the excess out. Just keep doing this. And eventually you'll notice that the water is getting more and more light. And you can see the water is getting lighter and lighter, so I'm just about done. So that is the next step. While you're waiting for your hair to dye, this is where the next step comes in, and this is where you will use your isopropyl alcohol and paper towels. So you're going to want to clean up all the stains you left in your bathroom, and this is going to be pretty easy. You're just going to want to take a paper towel, put a bit of isopropyl alcohol on it, and just find somewhere where it's dyed like this, and just go like this, and that should get the majority of it off. And then you are going to take another paper towel and go over that. You might need to get water on it, get some water on it, and just keep doing that until it is all the way out. So you can see it's coming out slowly, and there. So the first stain is done, and you just have to repeat that process all over your bathroom, anywhere you left spots. And also you're just going to need to take the trash bags that you left on the ground and pick them up carefully so you don't get dye from them everywhere, and dispose of them in your trash bin. Now that you've let your hair dry, you'll see that the color is coming in and it's very bright and vibrant. This is what mine ended up looking like. And now you have a perfect conversation starter and the perfect flair for all your outfits. So today I've taught you how to prep your workspace to dye your hair, apply the hair dye, let it set, wash it out, and clean up your workspace. So have fun dyeing your hair.